All right. So let me share my screen with you, and we can go over the PDF that you sent me. Okay. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. So tell me,
I,
how was the experience in terms of doing this exercise?
oh, it did come out okay.
Yeah.
I don't see. I on my version, I can't see. I couldn't see it like this.
Oh, yeah. You won't see it. Yeah. I'll show you how to see that because I'm using Adobe Acrobat, and what I do is when I share it in class, I go here to View, Page Display, Two-page view.
Okay, you can do that on Acrobat.
Yeah.
But you pro version, so you pay for that, huh?
No, you can do that with any version of Acrobat.
Okay, good. Because
Yeah.
okay, I'll look
Yeah.
at
So if
that.
you review your PDF and you go through it that way, you'll see it.
You get it. Okay, perfect. Okay, great. Oh, then I did it.
Yeah, you
How
did.
is it? Well, I was challenged in the sense that I took a lot of pictures this last week,
Hmm.
and it was a lot of it were just not for the assignment, but I took a lot of photographs, and I was very tempted to use those pictures, but I kind of wanted to get something that kept in the same theme
Right.
as what is doing it, and so that's why I relifted it. And so the images may not, I'm always thinking you have to show the strongest images, but I decided to use it to get it to kind of keep within the theme here.
Mhm.
And I did my mom when I visited her. Um, she has dementia very badly, and
Uh,
but I don't think the image per se works per se, but I kind of wanted to put it as a portrait per se. I don't know if it
yeah.
really does what I intended to do, but I kind of wanted to put it as a placeholder.
Well,
Anyway,
it's an important part of what you're going through, So,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, um, both my mother-in-law and my mother are going through this at the same time.
it's
And
really
it's tough. It's tough. So my
you
heart
know
goes out to you.
I think you've got to you're dealing with two.
How
It's really
about this last scene here?
and that was from the shooting from the hip actually.
Hmm.
And when I was walking that one, of course, and then my self portrait I was shooting as a from the hip. But those are the two that I really liked out of this.
Yeah.
And this was during the snowstorm last Monday, and I was coming back, and I had on my camera I had put a plastic covering to protect it over the snow,
Oh, okay.
and so it kind of created a little bit as I looked into the kitchen, my mother's kitchen, and so I thought it might be. I don't know. I thought it went with the photographs. I didn't think they're great photographs, but
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, the thing about thinking about whether the photograph's great or bad or anything like that is when you're working on a project like this, it really doesn't really mean anything
it, yeah,
because ultimately it's going to be the relationship between all the images. And
yeah,
you're going to find that there's an image that is an okay image that you might not really get all excited about if it were just the individual photograph, but that when you bring it in with another picture, all of a sudden it's like it just works. So that's why
yeah.
I think it's
Well,
really important when people are making these photographs is not to be so preoccupied with the traditional sense of, oh, this is a good picture, right? Because they're just thinking about the singular photograph, and what we're doing is well beyond that.
okay, yeah. That's where was my struggle here at this point,
Yeah.
and I may have, So I kind of, I kind of did some, and I don't know if we were supposed. I tried to put max the two images together that I thought went reasonably well, but at the same time went in conjunction with the first eight and then the second four.
Yeah. I
So I
like
made
what you
some.
did here with the self-portrait here. I like the fact that you just, did something untraditional in terms of way you framing the shot. That's
I,
fun to see.
I mean, I don't know if it says anything, but I like the image itself myself. And I thought it was just kind of, unique in the sense that the background is just, it almost looks like I'm floating. There's no bottom to me. It's
Yeah.
like a
Well,
waste.
doing stuff like this is really important because if you just shoot like you do traditionally, like this one of sort of the keyboard,
Yeah.
or this one of the cafe,
Yeah.
there's sort of a really straightforward way of seeing and making photographs that most people just naturally getting, inclined to when they start making images. But
Yeah.
when you're doing something like this, it's not so much a documentary as it is about creating photographs that have more of a feel to them rather than being evaluated and weighted on whether or not they they meet all the aesthetic rules and qualities of what passes for a good image.
Yeah.
And so the reason I
That's
give the
good.
assignments that I do is that I want people to make untraditional choices so that they can discover that pictures that purposely break the rules can be just as effective as an image that follows all the rules, and that
But
you don't have to dismiss those kinds of images, completely just because you're not used to thinking about it in that way.
yeah, that's I if I had to say anything, I know we've had now. This will be a third one coming up, but the assignments that we've had, it's really has gotten me to think more person. I mean, to put more of my to think to try to put. I may not be successful at it, but to think more um per, put more of my personality in the photographs
Yeah.
rather, and I have and especially since, sometimes when you go someplace, when you're traveling or whatever, it's everything is new. So you want to, click, click, click. And this is almost like a travel
Yeah.
situation for me because I'm not permanent here. And what I think this is making me do is to take it, look and make it more inward
Yeah. Because when
on the
I
process.
yeah, because when I travel now, I will photograph everything, the most mundane stuff, like when we first come into the room, taking a picture of the room, and various times when brushing my teeth or shaving while I'm there, do that, while my wife is doing her makeup or watching TV, and all these sort of things that you never normally would think about photographing, because I realized that it was so much about what I would photograph was stuff that we were going to and seeing, and what was missing was the experience of going to these places.
Which
It
is
was just a bunch of snapshots, but like picture postcards of locations.
yeah,
But it was like in terms of when we would talk about the fun we had and what we enjoyed most, that was missing from the photographs.
yeah.
So it's
I can
like
see that.
that's kind of the idea that we're doing here, is like thinking about our lives in that way and not compartmentalizing so much and go, okay, this is worthy of being photographed, and the rest of this can be undocumented. But it's the stuff that we've left undocumented that is really the good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. I'll just share this that I'm going through. One of the reasons I came out here because my brother needed a break for one of it, and then their house, we're going to have to get it ready soon to probably sell because both my parents are in a facility and it's expensive to
Yeah.
run out of easily. So we're going to probably sell the house and get it ready. So I'm going through all their old photographs, and
Mm.
it's just a very interesting, like from their part, from and me as a kid, little, my brother is young and seeing different things. And, you know, and the first time I went through them, I wanted to keep and some of them are blurry as anything. I mean, these are really bad, bad photographs that they did. But uh, and I don't know if it's bad because of nature, but it might be because of the camera facilities that they had at the time. And my dad when he was in the Navy and things, and um, but I went through there, and then my first reaction was to keep even the ones that have you know a postcard of someplace, or not a postcard, a picture that he took a snapshot of when he was in the Navy in France or something like that, or Korea. I don't, and then I said, well, this is a picture of, you would never know that, so I'm kind of weeding through them, but keeping all the ones with people in it that have an identity on that. And then, but it's an interesting process to go through.
But I want to see that. I want to see you going through the photo albums and the shoeboxes and using that as imagery as you're preparing the house, with your brother to get it, prepared for showcasing. It's like that's part of your story, because this is a moment of incredible transition for you and your parents, right? And it's difficult, it's challenging, it's painful, but it's very real, and it's like, and I this is as strange as it may say it is to say this, it is a time unlike anything you'll ever experience. And I can say the same for me. And so I'm trying to find ways of honoring that with the pictures that I make, not because I'm going to do anything with them in terms of turning them into a book or an exhibit or anything like that, but it's just like I want to feel like that I honored this moment in my life, as difficult and as challenging as it is, with these photographs. Because later on, when I look back at them, or my other family members take a look at them, they can see what the relationship was about, what made it special,
Yeah.
and
That's really, yeah. In fact, I was going to be heading back this week to LA, and I decided to at least stick it out through the course end before I was going to head out, because I think of something you said last week that it might be worth. I took a look at my visit in a different perspective, I think, from the class, and I want to make it more personal.
yeah, because it would be such a missed opportunity if later, after everything is said and done, you realize what you had chance to do, because it's a rare opportunity for us to be able to turn the lens of our lens on our lives in such an intimate way, rather than just sort of the typical things we photograph. And yeah, I think that, just like I said to some people last night, it's just make the leap. Just make the leap. And if you find that some of the imagery is take the pictures regardless of how it feels taking them. And like I said, you don't have to share them.
Okay.
So don't edit yourself and go, I can't take this picture because I don't want anybody to see this. No one has to see these pictures, right? But it's a catharsis for you to still make them. And then that these are your memories, these are your photographs. And make them for yourself, ultimately. And then hopefully with the skills that I share with you after the class is over, you can put this together into a way that you feel is honestly reflect what the experience was like. That you can take a look at the pictures and go, yeah, this is what it was like to be here at this particular moment in my life.
Yeah, that's a good, and that's a good goal that I should set for myself. And I know one thing, and this sounds fun, very funny, but one thing that I recently purchased, I have a Nikon 750 that I've been using, and I found it heavy to carry. Just got heavily, it just got very, for me, it was just a thing. So I got a mirrorless for the first time.
Okay.
And in the right before I came out here in September, and I've been it's so easy for me to take every day with me. It's light and everything. It makes, and And so anyway, I've really gotten back into photography really big, and I really appreciate your feedback and
Oh, my
the
pleasure.
feedback that in the class, not just to me, but hearing what you say to the other people that are in the class. It's been really good. So those are where I am today on those.
Okay. Well, I look forward to seeing what you do the next week.
We'll see what we can. Yeah, I have to put my mind to it now. A little bit. I don't want to think too much. Okay.